I think the PGG is about an organisation which sets apart professional gardeners to do a professional job in a very professional way.
It's a wonderful group of people, very keen, very enthusiastic, knowledgeable, hard-working people who want to share their knowledge with others and enjoy one another's company, as well as wanting to enjoy the gardens they've come to see.
These visits to gardens, whichever garden you go to, whether it's open to the public or not, you get a tour around with the head gardener. You get to know exactly what is going on. And for a keen gardener, I mean, that's just gold dust, you know? I mean, that's fabulous. It's great.
It is such a great body of people to be involved with, really. It is all about networking.
It doesn't matter if you haven't met any of them before, they'll make you feel welcome.
And there are often tea and cakes involved in the PGG and the walk around, which is quite nice.
The Professional Gardeners Guild started around about 35 years ago, initially for professional gardeners, because I was working in isolation and it was sort of an idea that I dreamed up.
Because I was working in private gardens then, and of course it was, you never met up with your associates at all. And how it's turned out now is just unbelievable.
I was only in my 20s when the PGG started. Brian was just a little bit older than that, and George. You know, these were more experienced gardeners than me. And so, as the youngest member of the PGG, as I was for a long time, it was fabulous to have a list of members and telephone numbers, and just to know that I could ring these fellas up whenever I had a problem. And that was terrific. You know, I wanted to get to know them as great gardeners, as great plants people. And what I've discovered is they're great friends, actually, and that's made such a difference to my life and my career. They've been brilliant.
From the point of view of a garden owner, it is very beneficial for the gardener to be a member of the PGG.
Lobster claw things. Yes, it is, yes.
Because by going to meetings, by reading the magazine, there are plenty of opportunities for the professional gardener to increase their horticultural knowledge and experience, and by definition, that must benefit the garden in which they're working. So I think there's a lot in it for the owner as well as for the gardener.
Joining the PGG was one of the best things I ever did. It just gives you that sense of friendship and companionship, that there are loads of other people throughout the country all doing the same things as you're doing.
Got some incredible friends that I've met through the Guild. And I think that counts for everybody, young or old. The first meeting I went to was an AGM up in Scotland. Didn't know a soul, and yet within minutes I was chatting away to people. They wanted to know where I came from, and it was one of the loveliest days in my life, I think, basically, that AGM.
The place where he lived, you look out onto exactly the same view across the Rift Valley this time.
Every year I really look forward, you know, to the magazine, and I see what this year's, you know, what gardens I can visit this year.
I like being the editor of the journal because it's like being at the centre of a spider's web. You've got in touch with members all over the country and generally know what's going on, so that I can put it into the journal and pass it on to everybody else.
It's a very good tool to sort of see what's going on sort of within the Guild.
It's beautifully produced, very informative. It has articles about garden visits.
And that's how we find out about them generally. So it's a good basis for that. You know, it gives all the information, what's going to happen, exactly the timetable, where it is, how much it is, things like that. It's a great tool. It's fantastic. You know, it's the best read in horticulture, as they say, and yeah, I think it really is.
The PGG does a lot of very good things, but I particularly like to mention training schemes for young gardeners. Now, this is very, very good indeed.
One of the best things about joining the PGG and getting onto the traineeship has been the kind of total immersion into horticulture, which I was on the periphery, I think, to begin with, but now I feel like I'm in the world now, and there's so many different places to go.
To produce a fully skilled craft gardener, just to work at basic level, is probably the product of 5 to 10 years.
We do spuds.
I'm now on our fourth trainee. I'm very keen on it. The idea really is hands-on. They get out there, get dirty, And I think you're bringing on gardeners for the future. I enjoy it very much having them.
I'm really enjoying my traineeship. It's exciting, very varied. My trainer is really good and he's got a lot of knowledge to learn from. And he knows a lot about plants and different types of gardening, and he's really good.
The PGG scheme is unique in trainees working in 3 different gardens.
One of the best bits about the traineeship for me, I've really enjoyed them moving around. It's really exciting getting to move to a part of the country that you might not have ever been to before, get to live in these magical historic landscapes where you're just pinching yourself every day thinking, how have I ended up here? And the people that I've met along the way have really, they've changed my life a little bit, each one of them. It's been a really great experience.
Without the trainees having been on this traineeship or something similar, they would never have had the opportunity to work in these kind of gardens. And I think that's the key. They're not only working in the gardens, getting advice from the people who've worked there, but we try to encourage them to gain the sort of experience that they need to further their career and point them in the right direction.
One of the objectives of the PGG is to raise the status of gardening as a profession. Gardening is highly skilled, it's becoming more skilled all the time actually. The standards are rising, but it's not always been realised that someone who is a professional gardener has a bit about him or her.
We also offer a system whereby we can advertise jobs amongst the membership. Dreamt up the idea of what we call our job sheet. Members can subscribe and it costs them 1 first-class stamp per issue. In most cases I actually speak to the employer that is looking for a gardener. We never recommend members to prospective employers. We maybe introduce them via the advertisements and then what transpires is entirely between them.
Another benefit, of course, is professional gardeners, they can associate with other gardeners. Obviously, therefore, they can exchange ideas, exchange plants too.
The amount of knowledge that's imparted, the plants that are given to you if you haven't got them, and it's just a very friendly group of people.
The seed exchange, which I've been running for the last 3 years, and it's fantastic because the members send in their seeds during the autumn, and it's like having a birthday every day for me because I always get parcels through the post and I open them up and they're full of fantastic variety of seeds. Oh, this one's come from Scotland, excellent. I collate them into a list, which this year runs to about 200 different species. Then members can write in and ask for up to 4 packets, but if they've donated seed, they can request up to 20 packets, so that really encourages the members to donate seed. And the seed can be from small gardens, from large estates, they can be from national collections, so you could get something quite rare and quite special. This plant here is a particularly nice plant. This is Marina longifolia. It's a bit of a hard plant to place in the garden because it does look like a thistle when it's not in flower, but when it's in flower it looks absolutely stunning, I think, and it has a nice scent. I thought it was so good and it fitted so well in this garden that I gave the seed to the seed exchange so that other PGG members could enjoy it in their garden too. And it's just a brilliant resource because you can grow things that are rare that you might only find in particular collections, or they could just be a way of supplementing the seeds that you grow yourself.
Another example of a good thing, the PGG, it's well recognised, it's closely associated with the Historic Houses Association, the HHA. There's also a close relationship between other gardening bodies and the PGG, most particularly, of course, the RHS, the Royal Horticultural Society, so it's extremely good.
The really important part about being a member of the PGG is still that interchange of encouragement, that interchange of information, the fact that you can pick up the phone and talk to somebody who's got exactly the same problems as you have and understands them.
You can support each other in so many ways, whether it's advice, whether it's suppliers, all sorts of different things. If I wasn't a member of the Guild, I would feel quite exposed. I have limited knowledge and experience, whereas I have, a book at home with a directory of 1,000 members, and I can pick up the phone at any time, and everyone is more than helpful. Everyone sort of pulls together, and it's kind of what the Guild's about, really, is stopping this isolation.
I think it's an excellent way of increasing their knowledge. I think it's a lot of fun. They meet people, and it's a very, very good way of furthering their career.
The PGG itself has wide-ranging benefits. I've taken part in a study tour myself. I went to Japan for 10 days. I went all around Kyoto. There's some fantastic gardens in Kyoto. We went in March, which is sort of cherry blossom season, and there's a big festival. Japan sort of stands still for the cherry blossom. They love it. Unbelievable experience. The opportunity that I had to go and be part of that, you know, without the Guild, it would never have happened. And it's an experience that will stay with me forever.
We offer a lot of benefits to gardeners. We offer a free legal advice scheme, which gives first-line legal advice on the end of the phone. It's accessible to any member of the Guild.
Being surrounded by these, you know, fiercely experienced gardeners was quite daunting at the start of my career and at the start of our traineeship. But you're a member because you want to share your knowledge and share your experience. So these people aren't closed books, you know, they're happy to share their knowledge with us.
There's nothing like being honoured by your peer group.
I would like to present you with that, Sam.
Wow.
On behalf of the PGG, to say thanks for all the loyal
thank you
and
very
dedicated
much.
service you've done.
The Lifetime Achievement Award is very special because it's an award for actually being a practical gardener, of doing the gardening, not just about gardens. And it's extra special because not only has it been presented here at Tatton Park, but at the Japanese Garden, which is really something that's special to me and something that certainly I will treasure the rest of my life.
Please go and look on the website, and all the details will be there for joining the PGG.